Hello and welcome to Snappy Summaries, the channel that gives you the gist of the best books in minutes. In this video, we'll be discussing the classic dystopian novel, 1984, written by George Orwell. This book is set in a world where the government has complete control over every aspect of people's lives. It was published in 1949, but its themes are still relevant today. 1984 is a novel about a man named Winston Smith who lives in a society controlled by a totalitarian government called the Party. The Party controls every aspect of people's lives, including what they think, feel, and do. Winston works for the Party, but he secretly hates it and wants to rebel. He starts a diary where he writes down his thoughts, which is a very dangerous thing to do in this society. One of the most important ideas in Part 1 is the concept of doublethink. Doublethink is when a person holds two contradictory beliefs at the same time and believes both of them to be true. For example, the Party might say that they are at war with a certain country, but at the same time, they might also say that they are at peace with that country. People in this society are expected to believe both of these things to be true, even though they are contradictory. Another important concept in Part 1 is newspeak. Newspeak is the language that the Party is trying to create. It's a language where there are fewer words, and the words that do exist have less meaning. The Party is trying to make it impossible for people to think critically or rebel against the Party. For example, in newspeak, there is no word for freedom, because the Party wants to eliminate the concept of freedom from people's minds. In Part 2, Winston meets a woman named Julia, and they start a forbidden love affair. They both hate the Party and want to rebel against it. They have to be very careful, because if they are caught, they will be punished severely. One of the most important ideas in Part 2 is the idea of the thought police. The thought police are a group of people who monitor everyone in society to make sure that they are not thinking rebellious thoughts. If they suspect that someone is thinking rebellious thoughts, they will arrest them and torture them until they confess. Another important concept in Part 2 is the concept of the proles. The proles are the lower class in society, and they are not as strictly controlled by the Party as the middle class is. Winston and Julia believe that the proles might be the key to overthrowing the Party, but they are not sure how to get the proles to rebel. In Part 3, Winston is arrested by the thought police and is taken to the Ministry of Love, where he is tortured until he confesses to crimes he did not commit. He is brainwashed into loving the Party and betraying Julia. One of the most important ideas in Part 3 is the concept of Room 101. Room 101 is a torture chamber where people are forced to confront their worst fears. For Winston, his worst fear is rats, and he is tortured with them until he begs the Party to do anything to make the rats go away. Another important concept in Part 3 is the idea of the inner party. The inner party is the group of people who are in control of the Party. They are the most powerful and privileged members of society, and they are the ones who make all the decisions. In conclusion, 1984 is a book that warns about the dangers of totalitarianism and the importance of individual freedom. It shows how a society can be controlled by a powerful government that manipulates language, controls information, and eliminates critical thinking. The book also shows how important it is to fight against this kind of oppression, even if it means risking your life. It's a powerful book that will make you think about the world around you and the importance of standing up for what you believe in. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to Snappy Summaries for more book summaries like this one. Thanks for watching.